Here's a question for you. Which golfer famously slept on the beach at St Andrews before the 1955 Open that then went on to be a major winner? Answer will be later on in the show. Now, on that subject of St Andrews, I've got my colleague Sam here, an expert in the area, recently back from St Andrews, lucky boy.
Yeah.
We're going to be going through the old course, golf courses around it, and what is the best itinerary in our opinion.
Yeah, definitely.
Good stuff. So obviously the old course speaks for itself.
Yeah.
It was your first time playing it, was it?
My first time playing.
How was it?
It was amazing. Everything I ever expected and more. I was very lucky. I went through the new ballot system for the singles.
Okay.
Was very lucky. My first attempt got on. I played it in horrendous weather, but it was amazing just to tick it off the bucket list, and I feel like there's a sense of satisfaction and completion in my golfing career now that I've played the old course.
So how did that feel with the ballot? Like, what was the process of the new singles ballot?
Yeah, so the day before we had to go to the old pavilion, which in itself is amazing because you're right next to the first tee of the old course.
By the putting green.
That's it, yeah. So you're kind of almost there and you're in around the building, so that was pretty cool. There's a couple of iPads in there, you just put your details in. I got a text message to say, congratulations, you're in the ballot. And then later on that day at 5 o'clock, I got a text message to say, the ballot's closed. 5:10, the ballot's been drawn, and then at 5:30 I got my tea time. And I sat there in my chair and just went, come on.
Yes, it's a good experience, isn't it? I've balloted twice. Been lucky enough to get in both times. And it was the email back then before the singles queue changed to the text message thing. But when you get that email, that sense of relief and that sense of I'm about to embark on something incredible. Like there's so much history.
Yeah.
There's no different feeling for me. There's nothing better in golf that I've experienced than getting that like you're in message.
I think the amazing thing as well, like my heart started going straight away, and I automatically went, "What am I hitting off the first?" I was like,
"You're already playing it in your head. 'Cause you've seen it so many times from the Open."
Yeah, and everyone always goes the widest fairway in golf, and you're like, "How? I just don't want to mess this up."
I've seen someone miss it twice.
Really?
Twice off the first and once off the 18.
Yeah.
And 18 was left.
Yeah.
Which is a long way
left.
left.
A long way left.
It's so far left.
Yeah.
We actually picked the ball up on the way back to the car park. That's how far left it was.
Yeah, that's a long way left.
Now, the old course, we've seen it so many times with the Open. Obviously, we saw Tiger recently go over the bridge. Everyone expected him to perhaps retire.
Yeah.
It's a special place for him. He says it's his favourite course in the world. What was your favourite hole? So I've got mine, and for me it's difficult to dislodge that hole as my favourite hole.
Yeah. I'd have to say probably 17 for me was my favourite. I think it was being able to actually look down the fairway and see, you got to cut across the corner of the club, the hotel. It was a left to right wind, and I was actually aiming at the Russax Hotel, which is like 50 yards left of where you're supposed to be aiming. And even then, it cut back into the middle of the fairway, and it was just the history of that hole, and people's scorecards have been made and have been wrecked on that hole, and it was amazing just to sort of play. I did make a bogey. It wasn't great, but it was amazing just to sort of see it. And then obviously you got 18 in the background as well. It was I think that was my favourite.
Now with St Andrews, as we said earlier, there's more to it than just the old course. You've got the golf courses that are on site with St Andrews Links Trust. We were talking about it offline just before we came on, and the Jubilee is probably the toughest of the rest.
Yeah.
And would you say it's the best of the rest? Like the ones that are on site. So not talking about up at the Fairmont or down the coastline at some other courses that we'll discuss shortly. But do you think that's going to be the best of the rest for your golf travellers that are going up there?
I think so. Yeah, I think it's a proper test of golf. I do also like the castle and the new course as well. I think a lot of people that I speak to who return from there, they say that they are evenly matched. I know the Jubilee is supposedly the hardest of the three. But to be honest with yourself, I think just being on the Links Trust and playing those golf courses are special within itself.
It's all the same land, isn't it? You're hitting off the same turf as the old course. It's just they just don't have the same nuances with the shared greens, and they all add up to 18, all the shared ones, which is really cool. We touched on it just now, and you've been lucky enough to stay there. The Fairmont, 2 awesome courses.
Yeah.
In the Torrance and the Kittocks, European Tour venue as well.
Yeah.
What can people expect from staying up there?
Well, I mean, the hotel in itself is amazing.
It's a Fairmont, isn't it?
Yeah.
Exactly what it says on the tin type thing.
It was, I mean, the main foyer that you have there, I mean, you could literally have an 11-size football match in the middle of it. It's huge. It almost feels too big, the hotel. It's fantastic. And obviously you've got the 2 courses on site as well, as a little drive down to those. And they're both really, really good golf courses. The Kittocks goes towards the castle course, a little bit more down towards the town. And then the Torrance is on the opposite sides, and both really good links golf courses. As you said, European Tour venue, hosted the Hero Open. Yeah. Really, really good golf courses. Quite feels a bit American. Massive wide fairways, big bunkers and greens. So yeah, it's a good venue to go to. Always got good availability for tee times as well. Saturday and Sundays always got tee time. So if people are looking for a Friday to Sunday trip, then spacing yourself at Fairmont's actually a really good option.
And then perhaps look at other golf that we can help them with as well.
Absolutely.
So with the Fairmont, it is a little bit out of town. Do you feel disconnected from it, or is it quite easy to get down there?
No, not at all. I mean, the good thing with Fairmont is that they have Mercedes Sprinter vans, and they actually take you down into town. So every half an hour they run a shuttle into the centre of the town. So you don't really feel disconnected from it at all.
You're not missing out on the Jigger Inn, you're not missing out on the Dunvegan.
No, not at all.
Walking the street. What's the golf shop? The famous one by the Dunvegan. I can't ever remember the name.
Don't ask me to pronounce it.
It's got a funny old name, but that's like an incredible
famous
spot. Yeah, exactly. They're like landmarks, aren't they?
They are. But yeah, you definitely don't feel distant from it. It's only a 15-20 minute journey at max into the town. So yeah, I mean, it's a great base to have yourself, really.
Excellent. Now, I am a big fan of links golf, and playing the old was something super special. I was lucky enough to play it quite early in the day, and I was able to then go out in the afternoon and play somewhere else, and that's the logo that's on your top.
Yeah.
New course, Dumbarnie Links. I'd played it not long after it opened. You played it very recently.
Yeah.
I thought it was incredible. Like one of my favourite rounds of golf that I've ever played.
Yeah.
It's something very different to the rest, because they're obviously the big high dunes. It's not quite as Scottish, if you like, as some of the others. But what was your opinion on Dumbarnie when you were there? Was it the same trip that you did it all on?
Yeah, it was the same trip. Yeah, I was blown away by Dumbarnie. The service that you get. We took our clubs out of the car in the car park, and someone came along, grabbed the golf clubs. They said they'll be waiting for you on the range. You kind of walk through the clubhouse. You got the pro shop on the left and the bar on the right, and just the service that you get there was just amazing. I loved that about it.
That's your American resort kind of feel, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. And I mean, I can imagine a group of Americans would absolutely love that. The range was huge, grass range as well, no mats or anything. Yeah. It was absolutely immaculate. Again, you get your little drum of whiskey as well on the first as well. So again, that was really cool. And I mean, we was going around the night. We was on the 9th hole, and I remember saying to my colleague Martin, was saying, "This course is 4 years old.
Yeah,
it's
mad,
so new, and it's fantastic. It's really good. Like I can only imagine what it's like in 10 years' time."
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's enough space that they own as well that they could perhaps put another course in.
Absolutely, yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised, because that bit of property is amazing.
Yeah.
The views across the river to like North Berwicky sort of area.
Yeah.
It's just fantastic, isn't it?
It is. It's really, really good. Some real interesting holes.
Yeah, quite a bit of elevation change as well for a links, which is quite different.
Yeah.
Because like the first you go down the hill, second you sort of play around, and then third you go down again. It's like, I don't know how I'm started so high and I've played 2 downhill holes.
Yeah, you never really feel the elevation change either. Whilst it's a fairly easy walk. But no, I was really impressed with it. It's one of those courses as well. You take your phone out on the first hole and go, "That's a great picture," and then second hole you take your phone out again, and so on. It continues. It's really, really good. Really good.
No, I'm glad you feel the same way as I do about Dumbarnie. It's a really cool place. Now, Sam, you were lucky enough to play somewhere that I've not played. It's on my list to do. I just need to get back up to Scotland, and that was Kingsbarns.
Yeah.
Relatively new, not quite as new as Dumbarnie.
Yeah.
It's well known by probably everyone in the golf world now. Part of the Dunhill rotation as well.
Yeah.
How was Kingsbarns?
Amazing. I mean, yeah, I don't really know what more I can say. It was just amazing. It's the best golf course I've played.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's I've always sort of seen things about it, and I was never quite too sure about it. But actually playing it and being there, it was amazing. The clubhouse is really oldie worldy, really sort of like a classic old clubhouse, and the golf course was just absolutely manicured for the middle of April. It was in superb condition.
There's a lot of hype, isn't there, around Kingsbarns for obviously the cost of the green fee, how busy it is as well.
Yeah.
But it lived up to all your expectations?
Definitely, yeah, 100%. I mean, there was some really, really nice holes there as well. The feature holes are stunning. You got the par 4. I think it's the 12th that goes around the coastline. Really nice hole. It kind of feels a bit like Turnberry, the lighthouse hole, where you go around the corner. And I think it's 15, which is the par 3, which
the full carry across the edge of the water. Yeah, that's the picture postcard hole, isn't it?
Unfortunately, the pin was like right over on the left, so it was fairly straightforward. But I can imagine if that pin's over on the right hand side, like
millions.
Yeah, you'd be worried that you're going to be losing some golf balls.
Now, with that in mind, and we've spoken about the old course, we've spoken about Dumbarnie, all the other ones in St Andrews as well. What is your perfect 4-night, 3-round trip to St Andrews? What does that look like for you?
Yeah, I mean, it depends. I think it depends really on what you're looking to spend and what you're trying to get out of the experience. I think a really nice package would be staying at Fairmont St Andrews. They have an unlimited golf package, so you can play the 2 courses there as many times as you like. So
depending on time of year, you can go around to your dizzy almost, can't you? It stays light till 10 o'clock.
Exactly. We get a lot of customers who come over from sort of Scandinavian countries where their courses are closed, and they'll come and do 36 holes every day during the summer and really get their season's worth of golf out. So I mean, that's a really good option, and it's a good price. But if you're looking more towards the other end, something sort of staying in the middle of St Andrews, you got the Russacks and the Old Course Hotel, both famous hotels, and then add in the Castle Course, the Jubilee Course, and then you've got Dumbarnie and you've got Kingsbarns if you're looking for a real top end trip.
Yeah, I think that's what I would go for. I think I'd do stay in the Old Course Hotel, so you get the view.
Yeah.
And then you've got the Jigger Inn next door, which we're going to touch upon in just a minute. Old Course, Jubilee to beat me up.
Yeah.
And then it would have to be Kingsbarns. I've played Dumbarnie, but if Kingsbarns wasn't available, I'd definitely go back to Dumbarnie. I'm actually thinking about doing Dumbarnie in August when I'm up there with some friends. We're across the river, but it's not that far to get round. So it's an experience that I want to do again.
Definitely, yeah. I think if you do go to St Andrews, you've got to do it properly, and you've got to play some of those golf courses. You've got to,
absolutely,
even if it means that you need to, skip a year and go back and do it properly, save a little bit of money to get some of those courses. You've got to do it. Really, it's an amazing trip.
Yeah, bucket list experiences are bucket list for a reason. Yeah, and it's not something you're going to do every year.
Yeah,
and that's why we make them so special.
Absolutely.
But, you and the team do a great job of that. We just spoke about the Jigger Inn, touched on that, staying in the Old Course Hotel, and you've got the famous pub that's just next door where players will frequent during the Open.
Yeah, I
know you were there recently.
Yeah,
how's the experience in there? Is the vibe good? Is it just literally people in their golf shoes?
So the Jigger Inn is going for a refurb at the moment. So I saw it when I was playing the Old Course, and there was a lot of work being done to it. I think it's kind of been due a refurb. But I actually went to the Dunvegan on quite a few evenings, to be honest with yourself. And that's an amazing bar in itself. On the walls and the ceilings are all the people.
The photos.
Yeah, of people that have been in there. Tiger Woods has been in there. John Daly's picture's really good. You've got a really young Dustin Johnson in there as well, which is quite an interesting picture.
It's only about 150 yards from the 18th green, isn't it?
Yeah.
You come off the 18th green, chuck a right, and it's just up there on the corner.
It is, yeah. It's in a prime location, and the time that we went in April, you had all the uni students coming in, and you had all the golfers coming in, and on a Tuesday, Wednesday night, it's rocking. It's absolutely rocking awesome in there. So yeah, no, it's fantastic. It's really good, and it's almost like a golfing mecca. Really, there's just people coming from all 4 corners of the earth.
You do a pilgrimage to the Dunvegan,
and you'll be coming down the road, and there'll be someone with their golf bag on their back, and there's just golfers everywhere. It's an amazing experience.
There's nothing like it. I don't think there's anything like just wandering around St Andrews for half an hour, 40 minutes, either before or after you play. It's just golfers everywhere.
Yeah,
and that's part of its charm, isn't it?
Yeah. Definitely, and I mean there's golf shops galore as well. There's always there's like an antiques one in there, the golf shop we discussed earlier on as well.
With the funny name.
With the funny name, yeah. And yeah, there's just so much to do in St Andrews. Like you can never really get bored. If you're a proper golfer, you can never get bored in St Andrews.
Mega. Brilliant. Now we mentioned at the start of the show which golfer allegedly slept on the beach before the 1955 Open. Do you know who it was, Sam?
I don't know the answer to this.
The answer to this was Gary Player, a very young Gary Player. So that anyone got it right, let us know in the comments. But thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and we'll see you all again soon.
Thank you very much.